Throughout the history of America, immigration has been a controversial issue among U.S. citizens, debating whether it is good or whether it is bad for the country. Either way, immigrants will continue to flow into the country. According to this chart, we see that the number of immigrants has steadily increased until the Great Depression. After, it increases and never goes back down. Groups of immigrants have always been discriminated towards. Just in recent years, those very groups have changed in title. Recently, the attack is more towards Muslim and or Middle Eastern people, as well as Mexican and or Hispanic people. This offensive cartoon from the 1920s reaffirms that same discrimination. Recently, there has been more and more anti-immigration protests saying that immigrants should not be in this country because it is not their country. This is almost an unfair accusation towards immigrants, saying that they must go back to where they came from because this is not their country. Okay. In your opinion, do you think that there should be a free flow of immigrants let in the country?
Yes. All immigration from the years 1990 to 2010 brought in $50 billion worth of benefits per year. It seems small, but does wonders for the economy and the native population. Also, immigrants tend to be younger, which slows down the aging of the working force.
Okay, thank you. What rights do illegal immigrants have, if any?
Illegal immigrants do have rights, actually, but they do not have the right to vote, and in the past, some have not been given a hearing for their civil law breaking. They do have constitutional rights like freedom of speech and religion while in the country.
Do you think that the southern border wall will help or hurt the country?
I think the wall will most definitely hurt the country. With a wall of that size and at that expense, it just doesn't make sense to put something like that in place. It will cost our country $70 billion to build and $150 million to keep every year, and will be deducting money from the money that the immigrants bring in annually. Also, considering that most immigrants come in via plane and overstay their travel visas, it is simply put a waste of time and money.
According to immigrationforum.org, this system must be repaired. Immigration and today's immigrants are still vital to our economic well-being. Deport every undocumented worker in this country, as some want to do, would be disastrous. In a black and white world, some will say that immigration is good and others will say immigration is bad. In reality, there are many factors that go into weighing the pros and cons to immigration. Some of the pros of immigration are that it brings in millions of dollars nationwide every year. It creates a diverse demographic. It slows down the aging of the workforce, and it prevents ICE having to spend billions of dollars each year trying to identify and deport illegal immigrants. Some of the cons may include that they could create a security threat and change employment dynamic, lowering the value of work. They could also overflow the country. Just yesterday, Donald Trump was interviewed by Fox News about the border wall and immigration. He says, unless it includes a wall, and I mean a real wall, and unless it includes a very strong border security, there will be no approvals from me. The wall will cost $70 billion to build and $150 million a year to upkeep, not including the virtual deduction of money immigrants bring in every year. Okay. So, in your opinion, do you think there should be a free flow of immigration in the country?
I don't think there should be a free flow, but I think that it should be a lot easier to get citizenship so people don't feel like they have to come in illegally.
Okay. Do you know if you could make any changes to the current immigration laws, if you would make any?
I would just make it a lot easier to come live here as an immigrant, because it's a really hard process now, and that's why when people are in times of need, they don't have the time to go through the process to get in.
Do you think that the southern border wall will help or hurt the country?
I think the border will hurt the country because, first of all, Mexico is not going to pay for it. It's going to take a lot of money to build and to keep in place. And most illegal immigrants don't even come by crossing the border by walking or climbing or whatever, but they come like by plane.
In your experience, do you think that race has anything to do with the current stigma surrounding immigration?
Yeah, because like the your grandpa,
Yeah.
like he said, I know that like nobody has problems with Europeans and white people coming in as immigrants. It's only brown people.
The reason many people are unhappy and unsatisfied with these immigration laws is because it tends to separate families and give poor quality of life to those who want to come here but cannot and do so illegally. Even immigrants who have been here for many years and that have already attained citizenship are afraid that they might get taken away because of the new fear that has been put in by the president. Basing immigration on merit may hurt some of the workers that are already here. Another misconception is that Donald Trump's presence would have slowed down immigration. This was true for a few months until after people started getting used to him and the flow of immigrants went back up to where it was, which was about 700,000. In reality, immigrants are just people who seek to have a better life. The stigma surrounding the criminalization of immigrants is harmful and unfair. Criminalizing immigration is irresponsible and not necessarily true. Immigration laws should be reformed so that immigrants have an easier way to get in the country and a more secure life. For many, many years, immigrants have been helping this country grow stronger. So why stop letting them in now?